doesn't state her name. And she just speaks. How you doing, children? What they would ask her what? Where's she from? Immediately.
Yeah.
Why? Accent. Another point, students would ask me, over 5,000 students would ask me, Mr. Bay, where you from? And I asked them, well, why did you ask me that? I started asking that because I wanted to know why would they ask me that question? I said, why would you ask me where I'm from? I said, I don't have a distinctive accent. My accent is the same as yours. So what about me that would make you ask the question where I'm from?
Knowledge. So it's all. Oh, you.
Oh.
You appear not to have Negroitis.
The touch.
Yes.
Know how I know that? Because they told me that. I wanted them to tell me. I wanted them to tell me.
Why they
Why? I didn't want to say,
assume?
well, it's because of this. I didn't even give them
You want them to
choice.
think.
It wasn't a closed-ended question, it was an open-ended question. I wanted them, because I wanted to, so I write in my book, I can say they said.
Oh.
They said this. They said this. I can quote. Right, that's why I did that. All right? That's why. Because of, so they don't associate the taboos, the land. So no problem. So now you go to show them the origin of the taboos, and she actually showed them, Olmecs. It also showed them the coat of arms. I was in another classroom with Moors from South America and Central America, like 25 of them. And one of the assistant teachers said to me, they want to know, they're curious about your hat. As she said, quoting her. So I said, oh yeah, my taboos. I said, you know what? They got this in the coat of arms in Central South American countries. So their eyes pit up, so I went on the internet. Coat of arms in Central South American countries, right? And have them walk over to the computer. But they were so fired up. They saw the coat of arms, they saw the fez. I saw fez in a coat of arms in Central South America, Argentina, Haiti, Brazil, Honduras, pyramid in the coat of arms. That's how you do it. The more knowledge you have, the more connection you can make. Questions? I just wanted to share some of my experiences because I'm in the schools and I run my big mouth. And not only I dealt with over 5,000 students, I dealt with over 500 teachers. Teachers, administration, security guards, maintenance workers, you name it. And as I'm working on these books, I'm appreciating my experience. Otherwise I wouldn't even have the experience that I've had to be able to teach this on a daily basis. And this is it's outside of the established curriculum. But what I did was I made it part of the curriculum because I classified it as social studies, geography, dealing with name denoting family, clan, denoting title, all right, denoting nationality. That's under social studies.
Yes.
That's how I did it. All right, because it's social studies. So that letter, teaching nationality to over 5,000 students. The letter to Congress. What does race mean, Congress? That's coming out in the fall. That's in the book, Teaching Nationality to over 5,000 students in Kansas City Public School. That letter's in there, but I'm gonna put that letter out before the book. All right? So it's going to be printed in the 5th issue of the Masonic Gate on the front cover. That's going to be the main issue, the feature article of the 5th issue of the Masonic Gate. Not the next issue, the 5th issue. The next issue, the 4th issue. And the letter is going to be called Teaching. What does race mean, Congress? An open letter to United States Congress. And then my experience of teaching nationality to over 5,000 students and their comments, and I have a list of 20 questions to ask them. All right, so that letter's almost done, and I'll be putting that letter out in the fall. All right, so I've been doing a lot of work. So if you don't see me, I'm working. My daughter writing my book, you know, so I want to be on the books. Our sister Toy's going to be printing out. We're going to start the layout of the book in 2 or 3 weeks. I have a couple of people who are going to help me edit. So we're going to be doing the first 2 chapters. Setwise cousin is my layout designer. He also designed my website. All right, and I have a sister Io, her brother Hanif's wife is she's going to also be working with me with other books. So all this stuff is set up. I just want to thank you for your support, Brother Taj, for your support over the years. And I'm ready to just move on. All right, I'm going to be traveling throughout the country. I'm going to be going to different Masonic conventions. I'll be going to visit Masonic conventions throughout the country, selling my books and stuff. All right, and I'll be connecting with tens of thousands of Masons, these stars.
All right.
All right,
All right.
so I'm stepping everything up.
Yes, sir.
All right.
All right. Another question. So I just wanted to give my little 2 cents there.
I had a question. This is open to Todd as well. So in terms of carefully choosing your words, your verbiage, when exercising your rights to certain liberties that you have, such as like, in my particular case, my father just made this transition in November, and he left our family an inheritance. And my sisters and my mother, they all cashed portions of theirs and were heavily taxed or thieved, legalized thievery, basically, is what we're discussing, we're learning. Whereas before we thought, okay, this is just how things go. But just like that example, what you said about the toll and the bridge, it's not how things go. So in approaching that, I haven't touched mine yet because, you know, being fortunate to meet with you and Taj every other week in Maryland.
Yeah, but I say that in the Maryland class, you know that both Todd and I, we talked about trust, putting the trust. So that's something that you, because you've been coming to the class for a while in Maryland. This is brother from the Maryland class, all right?
All right.
Todd and I teach class in the Capitol Heights every other week, every other Tuesday.
So I would just need, maybe just a good place to help others understand things of that nature here, that why is trust the way to go with this, and how does one protect themselves from having these crooks' hands in your...
I'm going to let Todd go first and I'll go after him. Go ahead.
First, what Abdullah brought up, the first instance is the blending of what you call making the muddy water between the living and the dead. I understand that corporation, part of the word in corporation is corpse. And the consideration, or at least the legal consideration, that Rome has, and we say in Rome, you're talking about the European nations that are occupying us. The people not in their proper person, which is by design, are classified as the dead. They're dead. Therefore, everything automatically goes through pathonetary, all inheritances, etc. That whole system of the instruments created under the 14th Amendment and the movement of those instruments and what they relate to, estate, money, inheritances, etc., is by hypothecation. One of the best ways to look at that, to comprehend it, is one, understand the nature and the construction of the 14th Amendment, why it was constructed, the coup that took place in 1871 with the established fact that the United States Corporation Company as a business, as an implied pseudo-nation state, adjourned sine die 1861, and consider Woodrow Wilson meeting with representatives of the Popes of Rome and representatives of the District of London on Jekyll Island off the coast of Georgia between 1910 and in 1913 as a countermeasure to all actions that was taking place here for the restoration of the estate to the rightful heirs, which is essentially in relationship to what Noble Drali was doing. And recognize the hypothecation. This is where they're making a false claim. And as you look, if you look into congressional records, you can see all property was held in allodial title prior to 1913. So after 1913, every action that is done by the franchisees, as well as by the alleged governing body, which is a de facto, because everything after 1781 is de facto, which means everything is impostorship. And so every instrument they create is for the purpose of hypothecating the wealth, present, past, present, and future tense. Labor, past, present, future tense, etc. Now, with the establishment of the 14th Amendment, look at it as a corpse, an ens legis corpse, for transmitting as a utility the administration of this occupied estate. Now, the persons who are the target, logically, is the defeated Moors, whom they branded Negro, Black, Colored, etc. This is comes under unum sanctum, dum diversus, Romanus Pontifex, Intercatera Divina, the Sestacute Act of 1666, and of course the creation of the 14th Amendment. This is later, but 14th Amendment. Collectively, they comprise the body politic that is described as the doctrine of discovery. This is the manual that is used by all European organizations, industrialists, governments, states, governments, local governments, municipalities, etc., to disenfranchise the natural people from their rightful estate. The branding system set forth after they closed the Freedmen's Bureau, where these people were to be restored, or what you would call redeemed. They were given back their names and nationality, religion, given back some of their resources, repopulated between the Rocky Mountains and the Allegheny Mountains. That was overthrown, and they closed the Freedmen's Bureau and created the corpse, or the 14th Amendment artificial person. That's when they gave it the designation of person. They put their family names on the descendants of Moors, that whatever they buy or sell with the mark or the number of that name is automatically state property. Therefore, by legal process, all things are hypothecated, and particularly any coming generation is already dead. Therefore, if you learn the truth, know the truth about your nationality and birthright, this is why Abdullah was making a statement he made earlier about what Noble Drali said, which is by many people unfortunately underestimated. They pay attention to what he said and act on it. That is the tool to reverse what Rome has done. Anything else will not reverse it. In other words, it's sort of like if you're doing body work on a car, according to where the panels are repairable. You can pull them out and repair them. If it's too much damage, you throw away and replace. The deal of it is, by hypothecation, and because it is not theirs, it is under the rule of occupation. This is why all feudal instruments, all feudal properties, all things done under deeds, someone who transacts business in the deed would always be listed as a tenant, because it can't be sold. All right? Now, when the heirs speak up and get back in their proper person, there's going to be resistance, but in estate law, they must demonstrate competence to be receivable of estate, lest it be escheated by whoever is claiming the jurisdiction. They will designate it as the state. Therefore, it's essentially the administration of estate, so automatically it's a position of trust. Now, if the people whose estate it belongs to do not honor their mothers and fathers, which means they do not transact business in the titles of their mothers and fathers, already by law they're not descendable. no matter how intelligent they are, no matter how old they are. If they accept the brands minor, minority, Negro, black, and color, it makes them not descendable because only an identifiable, or what you call a durable and descendable heir can even make a claim on the estate. Less more be descendable in law. You know law, so you know that. All right? Now, for you to be rightful heir or claimant, you must be in propria persona in order to be sui heritus, and therefore you must be sui juris. You must be capable, competent. Now, that they've hypothecated, even though it's hypothecated, there's instruments that they created to represent that hypothecation. It's on the stock market, and it's in the nation states around the world in their treasuries. And so basically the true heirs are declared as having abandoned their estate. And particularly when they deny their bloodline. Because the estate, the land is Morocco, the conquest of the Inquisition is against the Moors. Anybody come up and make a claim, try to make a claim on that estate, and they're not of Moorish blood, the argument is dead. They start that tribal stuff that the European created, they've just abandoned their platform because he's not obligated to anyone but the Moors, as demonstrated in George Washington's letter and all other correspondences, etc., including them imitating, setting up the imperial divan and ritualistically ritualizing the Moorish government and even running this government according to Moorish principles. They just changed the names and corrupted it. Now, when you, that's a plural you, are aware of this, you are responsible like every other living being, whether man, woman, or child, to honor your mothers and fathers like every other living being on the planet, lest you not be descendable. And from that position, you're capable in law, capable of at least invoking the common law, which is a necessary platform to get you to the natural law, to trump the Roman law, to trump the canon law, which those instruments are created under the canon law, and all other civil laws, to even have an argument. Dred Scott, Amistad, same principle, right? The wisest thing to do is once you become aware of that information, you better set up a trust as fast as you can, however you can. Write it on your sneaks, on your back, on your underwear, on a piece of toilet paper, on a candy wrapper somewhere. Because if you don't make a claim, it's considered abandoned. And it's exact simple.
All right,
This is also why, this is also why when Jwali set up the old Canaanite temple, he immediately set up a trust.
Let me get this to y'all. Up here, trust, structure, finance, and asset protection. There's a book called Trust in a Nutshell by Westlaw. About 50 notes, Malls and Nobles. Trust in a Nutshell by Westlaw. They got trust in a, like this, like Complete Idiot Guide. Remember the Complete Idiot Guides? Remember those Complete Idiot Guides to Astrology? Complete Idiot Guides to Guardian.
Yeah, like that type stuff. Yeah.
It's the same thing.
Yeah.
Nutshell. Then you have, this is like Complete Idiot Guide. So we have Trust in a Nutshell by Westlaw. About 50 notes from Barnes and Noble. So that's one. Each state has this: the state trust and property law. All right. Each state property, the state trust and property law. All right. Each state has that. All right. Then let's go back here to the 1939 Indenture Serving Act. 1939 Indenture Serving Act. And what do you see on the deeds? Indenture. All right? Now let's go to the 13th Amendment. Voluntary servitude. So you have involuntary servitude and voluntary servitude. See how they see this? They slick, right? And how do you volunteer? Contract. Contract.
Signature.
All right, so you endorsement. And I use endorsement because you see this term used in banking. All right? Endorsement. So we're looking at 13th Amendment and how they maintain servitude, classified it as under voluntary servitude. And volunteered through contracts. And as I said before, the deeds, notes, mortgages, car notes, and so forth, see, it's all about still your land and labor. So you pledge your land and labor
Yeah.
through those commercial instruments, securities,
Yep.
security instruments. All right? Any questions? Questions? All right. Anybody have this? So you get this book at Barnes and Noble. If they don't have it, you can order it. Trust in a nutshell. Right? Just want to give you something, that you can walk away with and get. Right? I trust I was able to, provide some information. You know. Just make sure everybody's aware of this term here. Etymology, right? Everyone know the word etymology? Everybody's familiar with the word etymology, right? It's not a foreign word to everybody. I started off with social linguistics, and we talked about that. And we talked about the social context, just bringing it back, and what is meant by social context. So there's something that we are clear on, a little clearer on when we were before we started today. Etymology, history, right, true, real, origin, study, science, okay. And then you talk about the etymological brackets, that there's some limitations in etymological brackets. One is it doesn't go beyond Greek. So I mentioned the term Indo-European, the European roots. There's a book dictionary called the American Heritage Dictionary, and it has the Indo-European roots in the back. American Heritage Dictionary. And what is good about this dictionary is that it gives you words in family. So you look up from one word, you can, how it works. Write this down, I'll show you how this works. I'll show you the value of this dictionary. Anyone have this?
Yeah.
Yes?
No.
All right. Why the American Heritage Dictionary? It's a good teaching dictionary for children and grandchildren. What you want to do, you're going to study words in family. You don't study words individually. You study words in family. Right? How to study words in family. How to study words in family. Family words. Family of words. Let's look at this. We'll give you word status. All right, the stand. Right, it'll say C, S, T, A, and appendix. So you go to the appendix,
Standing.
that's TA, STI, SIST. These are three root words that are derived from the Indo-European root STA. And this generates thousands of words. Status is one of them. Right? So when you look up status, it'll tell you what the Indo-European root is. And you go to the appendix at the back of the dictionary, all right? And it'll give you, it's not in columns like this, all right? It'll give you the Indo-European root and the root words and words under each root word. All right? So now what are you doing? You're studying words in family. So by looking up one word, what you're doing is you're placing the word status in a family. The word status is in a family of other words. So now that you know what? You know other words that have the same root word, or a root word that has a variation. STI is a variation of STA. SIST is a variation of STA. So question is, are there other variations of the root word? How do you find that out? You go to so you look up, you use the American Heritage Dictionary, and you look up the word status to see if there are any other variations of the root word. Use another example. Let me give you some examples here. Status, state, estate. All right? Anyone else? Station. All right? Constitution. Institution. Don't just put institution.
Condition.
All right? What's the word?
Condition.
No, condition?
It still relates.
No, you say condition.
Status, state, con.
You say condition.
Yeah.
No, that's no.
No, I'm saying the status
No, I'm
relates
talking
to
about,
the,
no, I'm saying
Oh.
words.
Oh, all right.
Words that
All
have
right.
the root word.
the Indo.
Words that have the root word STI.
Oh, all right.
Words that have the root word STA.
All right.
Words that have the root word SIST.
Yes.
Stipulate?
Yes. Correction. I accept correction. Yeah.
Insist.
Insist.
Consist.
All right.
Stadium.
Stadium. There we go. Stadium, STA. All right, good.
Yes.
All right, so we got the idea. All right, we got the idea. All right, so I'm gonna write those down. I'll use another one. So I'll give this to you before we end. All right, this is in the American Heritage Dictionary of the English language, the Indo-European roots.
What I was relating to mainly is when you look at the derivatives and you put them together, what it demonstrates is the condition.
Absolutely. We're just
Yeah.
talking about root words.
Yeah.
Words that are derived from, that
Yes.
have these particular root words.
Yes.
Yeah, because I want to give them this, because you start, because what happens is, you start giving them so many lessons at one time, then it's lost.
Yeah.
Believe me. Over some adult students. Yes, I just wanted you to be clear that these are root words that all have the same meaning. I forgot to give you meaning. It means stand.
Family.
So let's say we have 500 words up here. You can learn those 500 words in an hour.
Yep.
2 hours, or let's say a week. All right, that's something give you.
Yep.
You can learn. No, it's real, I'm serious. No, I'm serious. I'm serious. It's really all right. Because you're looking at 500 words. Don't get caught up with 500 words. Get caught up with this methodology I'm giving you.
Yeah.
The 500 words are going to contain these three root words, and they all have the root word has the same meaning. Stadium, consistent. SIST means stand. STA means stand. Constitution. STI means stand. All right. So you would have what? An addition of prefixes or suffixes. That's all. That's all you're dealing with. You have your root word. Some would have root words. Some would have a prefix. Some would have two prefixes. Some would have two suffixes. Some would have three suffixes. Some would have two prefixes and a suffix, two suffixes and a prefix, two prefixes and then three suffixes. All right. So once you understand the system, so the 500 words is really not a lot. If you understand in the movie Akila and the Bee, Akila said to Dr. Larry, he said, "What do you see?" Well, those are big words. He said, "Big words are what? Put together. Big words are."
Little words put together.
I teach this to kindergartners, first and second graders at the Jubilee School. This same lesson I'm giving you right now. Because big words are what? Small words put together. If it's 20 words, 20 letters, a kindergartner can break it down. A kindergartner can break a 20-word, 20-letter, 25-letter word down. How? In their component parts. Prefixes, root words, and suffixes. It's not complicated. Once you know the system, you teach them the system. It doesn't matter what the word is. As I said in the class in Berlin, it's not. The word is secondary.
He's asking about the movie.
Aquila and the Bee. Aquila and the Bee.
That's the large fish burrow.
Thank you.
Yep.
Hey, you familiar with it?
Yeah, I was just trying to tell you.
Yeah, you want to get that. But what I did was, I picked out the educational scenes,
Okay.
and I'll text them to you. I'll text you.
I've watched it.
No, I'm saying,
I know what you're saying.
when you look at the, I'm talking about the recording. When you record has a number, I can text you the numbers of the educational scenes. Right.
Yeah.
Because you want to pull out the educational scenes for your children. So when I do the lecture, when I done the lecture at when I did it in Lakewood and at Jubilee and all that, I pulled out the educational scenes. All right, so I'll text that to you. I'll forward it to you. All right, because I did that for Salah. I gave her the educational scenes. I'll just forward it to you. All right, no problem. So that you can just go right to it. You can show the whole movie, but you also want to pull out the educational scenes.
Right.
All right, just like Dr. Laramie, Aquila. What's the word? Stephalococci. Aquila is late for her first session, Dr. Laramie. So she knocks on the door, and he doesn't answer because he's in the backyard because she's late. So she goes around the back, and she walks through the gate. She sees her planting flowers. So she says, he asked her why you late, but then she he asked her to spell stephalococci. So she spells stephalococci with an F. Well, it's a Greek word. So you would never spell a Greek word with an F. All right, so Aquila was a good speller, but she was not a great speller because she was, the goal gets to be was in the region, in the state level. All right, right. So she knew that it was a Greek word. All right. Now another thing, when Aquila, another scene, Aquila is she wins to goes on to the regionals, right? And she studies. She goes to the school where some of the European contestants, it's a European school, so she goes there to visit after school so she can go be involved in the study group. So Dayton, I think one of the guys who won second place the previous year, she walks into the classroom and says, I'm here to, she says to him, I'm here to study. He said, well, my dad coaches me, all right? And he asked her to spell xanthosis. Well, she spells xanthosis with a Z. Well, xanthosis, that's a Greek word. You spell it with an X. All right, those are some of the examples I'm telling you. Those are educational scenes. All right? All right? So if she knew that was Greek, she wouldn't spell it with a Z. All right?
Right.
All I'll give you another example here. It's methodology. Methodology. The focus is not so much on the word and as much as it is on the methodology. You apply the methodology. If it's 1,000,000 words, you apply the methodology to 1,000,000 words.
Yep.
That's all. You got to know methodology.
Tools.
All right, this is factory. You look up the word factory. All right. Make, do, C, D, H, E, which is the Indo-European root, and appendix. An appendix. F, A, C, F, E, C, F, I, C. That's over 1,000 words right there. That generates over a couple thousand words right there.
Yep.
All right? So now what? Now you're placing the word factory, what? In a family of languages.
Yes.
In a family of words. And then now the question is, does the root word F-A-C in the word factory have other derivatives? Or are there other forms of the root word F-A-C? Yes, there's 3 others. That's what that answers in the appendix. All right, so let's give you some of them. Fact. Yeah, what? Fictitious, right?
Factorized.
All right. Manufacture. You said factorize.
Feces.
Manufacture.
Or facetious.
Fictitious. All right. Effect. Effect rather. Effect. And then you can add your suffixes, affection, defection, defect.
Perfect.
All right, perfect. All right, ratify, modify, clarify, satisfy. All right. Just an example. So I just wanted you to see, how this functions, but why I'm saying the American Heritage Dictionary. I just didn't want to just say that to you. I wanted to explain to you, how it works. All right. What time do we have to be out of here?
Well, he's saying,
Whenever.
you saying whatever?
Whatever.
Oh, there's no.
Well, right now, it's nothing planned.
All right, no problem. I didn't.
No before, but
Good. All right, good. Any other? Because I want to give you. All right, so I can. All right, go on. All right, good. So the Indo-European root is DHE, means make with it. All right, we have that. All right, we talked about big words being little, big words and small words put together. All right, let me give you the methodology. This is what I learned in 1998 when I first took the class, etymology class at PATSO. All right, I'm using this. Many people. It's on my website. Prefix. Big words or little words put together. Suffix. 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 Let me show you. All right, so we're gonna be Bob the Builder, but we're gonna be word builders. All right, we're gonna build words. So let's build a word. All right, build a word. So let's look at. So we're going to, the root word is S-T-A, that's the root word, so let's look at that. Stable. We got stable, all right? So we have, stable has 1, suffix. So we're gonna build on word. All right, to stable, lies.
Yep.
All right, so we went from one suffix to two suffixes. Let's go to
Stability.
build on it. All right, stable,
Stability.
lies. Put that in parentheses. All right, stabilization. All right.
Stabilizer.
So we went from one suffix to two suffixes to
three.
three suffixes. So once again, taught this to kindergartners.
Right.
Big words are what? Little words put together.
Put together.
So you have this word stabilization, but if you teach them the methodology, they won't be so intimidated. And the kindergartners, the first and second graders, they were able to come up. And what I started doing was I would put the word on the board, and then they would have to place the word in the proper places. Kindergartners now. All right, but they understood the methodology. All right. So let's continue. So we can add on. How can we add on to destabilize?
D.
D. We're gonna just add. So add. Destabilize. So now we got one prefix and three suffixes. One prefix and two suffixes. What about stabilization, right? You said
Yeah.
stable.
Or in,
All right. So stand. STA means what? I said stand. Right. So something that's stabilized means what?
doesn't move.
Doesn't move. All right. Doesn't move.
Stand.
It's fixed. It's fixed. All right. Durable. So let's look at another word. Characterize. All right. That one. All right. Get them characterized. That's spelled right?
It's spelled right, character.
Correct. That one I can't break. That I can break what I know, and I'm going to start with that. No, that's all right. No, keep going. We're not going to change the word. I'm not going to change the word. All right, because I know that eyes is a suffix. All right, this is how I do it. This is how I do it. You see a word they may not seen before. You're not quite sure of its component part, all of it. But you're sure of some of it. All right, this is how I do it. I take what I already know. So once I can remove what I already know, all right, just show you how I work through this. All right? Because it's not like you can throw any word at me. I just but I understand methodology. All right? So I just follow the methodology. All right, so ER, like a character is one who. All right, so that's ER.
So what about the CHA?
That's what I'm not too sure. That's what I'm saying. So ER, I know AC as an act means do. All right, so and that I'm not, which one is the, so this would have to, all right, so can someone look that up for me? the etymology, if on your phone, just look on your phone, etymology of characterize. So, on your phone, you Google etymology of characterize. Right? See my, that's how I do it. I take what I know, all right? I know what act is a root word, all right? As in actor, all right? So I take what I know, and that's how I did it. All right, now I'm not too sure, but this is, all right, which is, I go to the dictionary for verification. All right, we have it? Thank you for that, appreciate that. I like that. Yes. I'm glad you gave me that word. I love challenges, I love that. Man, that'll be on my belt. You have it? Characterized? Is it right?
No, I'm not. I was ready.
I need someone to look it up.
He's looking it up.
All right.
I got it.
Stamping.
Well,
Stamping.
No.
Well, it shows the Greek
All right.
origin. French also
Smell something burning.
characterized,
Popcorn.
engraved, described.
Somebody's cooking popcorn. Snapping tool. I need the breakdown.
Token?
Yeah, I need to break down, so I need the component parts. See, that this just gives me the whole word. Yeah, that doesn't help me. I mean, it gives me the meaning, but it doesn't give me the component parts.
It comes from G-H-E-R.
Yeah, that's the Indo-European root. That still is not gonna, All right. Yeah, it's just been.
Skip. You might burn
It's not gonna give me the.
Something's burning.
I got branded on the body.
Yeah, engraved mark. It means engraved mark. That's
Symbol marked, branded on the body.
all right. Let me see this. All right, I got it. I got it. Got it. Yeah. Go with this. All right. This is the root word here. Pointed stake. All right. Indo-European root, G-H-E-R, it's the Indo-European root. All right, so this here is this may be part of the whole, all right, C-H-A-R, all right, there we go. So this means pointed mark, pointed state, character. All right, coming from the Greek here, karat. And then this is we have two suffixes. All right, that's what just you can look at this. Yeah, here's the French. Yeah, all right, that's how you do it. All right, I use French. Old French, C-A-R-A-T-E-R. Feature, character. All right, so this here is the entire root. C-H-A-R-A-C-T is the entire root. All right, thank you. Yeah, that's what I want.
Dewey. The Proto-Indo-European root is,
G-H-E-R.
yeah, and it's to scrape or scratch.
To scrape or scratch. Right here, it has here to point stage, engraved marking for one of them, to scrape or scratch. All right. We can see that though. If you look at studying astrology, Ras Mariah.
Yes.
All right. All right, give us a breakdown of character in astrology.
What do you mean a breakdown of character? I'm sorry.
What component parts in astrology determines one's character?
Definitely the what they call the Trinity is really the sun, your moon, and your rising,
Yeah.
and that's the basic parts. And then your
Go ahead.
Trinity that you traverse through here, which would be the moon is who you really are. That's your soul. The sun is the manner in which you express the dictates of your soul, that's character. And the ascendant is the way in which you present yourself. And the way in which you present yourself may not have anything to do with the other two, because they're all three different. Now, in essence, if you have a mixture of elements that don't agree with each other as your Trinity, that's the first thing you need to fix with you. You got water with fire. If you're a person who has, for instance, a fire sign, but you got water as your moon sign, you putting out your own energies. Now, sisters, the reason you develop by the moon, the reason you conceive by the moon is so that you don't bring in children that are out of order with themselves. That's true family planning, is knowing when to conceive. So when you hear people saying, oh, we conceived on this or whatever, or even we're going to decide who the mate is going to be, it's not based on anything that's that personal. It is. It's based on
right.
It's based on elements and compatibility, which is what you're comprised of, is the elements and the energies thereof.
Do you see how the etymology is connected to what she's saying? That's why. Good.
Sister
Good job.
Sister Ross, I have a question. 'Cause I was just thinking about that the other day. So like, say our nation now, we have a need for so many different offices, but particularly we need like some
Counseling.
Imhotep,
No, counseling,
warrior
because someone who
kings.
knows astrology is the only one that can counsel the problems of our people today.
So, okay, if we take a counselor, like say a wise person, according to what you just said about conceiving during the moon phases, could you just throw out what particular, like how that would look if a man and a woman are going to copulate according to bringing down the energy of a counselor in physical form? What sign or astrological significance are you looking for that?
You're asking me for, listen, there is a huge number of possibilities of beings that can be presented based on the ascendant variations, the moon, and so on. So first thing is that one would have to be here with a higher consciousness. So you're looking at, or even seeking a higher consciousness, which would be the Sagittarian, but that's only 180 higher level of the basis. We can't skip the basis trying to get to someplace. This is what we do. We try to just get the remedy real quick here, but it's all fundamental, and you're not going to escape the fundamentals. But for instance, House 3 is Gemini. That's communication. However, House 9 is the higher octave of the Gemini. So whatever your basic abilities to communicate or not are based on what? The personal houses, which means at home, when you were raised from your mother's home, or from home. What were you taught there with your brothers, your sisters, your neighbors, that sets the foundation for possibilities of the higher knowledge that you can possibly attain is absolutely based on the basic. So this is what Sagittarius represents, and why it represents the higher learning, the higher spiritual knowledge, as well as higher, whatever number you want to put on, as well as higher education. And also, since House 3 represents you and your primal self with your family, House 9 also represents your mate's relatives. You see, there's layers on this. What you see when you look at the astrology, well, is based on what you know. So that's another correlation.
Good lesson.
So,
Good lesson.
the variety.
Awesome.
And so, and I wanted her to do that because so we can, these, in the context of astrology, how, character relates to how the etymology relates to what you're saying. So we're looking at appointed stake, you know, so you're looking at a stake, something that's what? Fixed. All right? So, yeah, something that's fixed. All right, engraved marking was one of them, another one. Right. So you see how the astrology is connected to the etymology. It's the meaning of a character, the application of character in astrology is connected to its etymology.
May I have one other
Yes,
thing that's
please.
important?
That's why.
Especially for the
That's culture.
yes, come here with the nation. When you have a child and you birth the child, the child is born, are you aware that you just laid the law down? No. You just laid the law down. Every child that comes out of your womb is based on the length, the angle, and the width, which is what law is. Length, angle, and width of what? Of the energies of the universe, of the cosmos, that you birthed into existence. So you just laid the law down when you had the child. This is why we are the law. Thank you. This is why we are the law. Manifested, I gotta see this. We, each one of us, is the law manifested in the flesh, and that's why the five-pointed star represents it. Arm, leg, arm, head. Allah. Manifested in the flesh. And that's why on the national flag, it's the five-pointed star representing or symbolizing that manifestation. So each mother who has a child at birth just laid the law down.
Yep. And let's go back to the word God again. Related to thought. She did mention thought, higher thinking.
Yes.
All right? Higher thinking. See how the connection is? It's our culture. And Dua Li, let's even tie this in to divine and national. Because there's a connection there. The divinity, and she's explaining to the connection with the divinity and the national. You know, so you're looking at how it's fixed. So you have what you call your natal chart, which is fixed. It's that pointed strike or stake. It's fixed already. Then you have your progression. Talk about progressions, Rosmariah.
You mean in your lifetimes?
In life, yes.
Your fixed natal chart?
Your fixed natal chart and progression.
I'm going to give you a great example of why it's so important for us to recognize, to acknowledge, and to utilize our own charts. I knew someone that was born with 3 planets in the house of partnerships, let's say, 7th house. Now, all of their life, they always was inspired to have 3 different girlfriends. I mean, this might be a bad example, but it really is a good
Just
example.
give an example. Let's give an example.
Because I'm not making anybody judgment on that.
Yeah.
However, as those planets, they were born with 3 planets in the 7th house, because if you look at your 7th house, that's going to tell you, give you some idea of what type of mate you need to be, because remember, or be with, the 1st house is you, self. The 180 degree is everybody else that you partner with, whether it's sexual or not, is not the issue. So that's everything that poses self. That's why you have to be careful who you hang around with, because that's the association, and everything outside of yourself, your partners, be it business or otherwise, is what opposes you. All right? So now they had 3 planets born in their chart. Now they got to a certain age, I don't remember when it was, as these planets progressed, because for one day from the time you were born is equivalent to a year. So if you were born on September the 5th, 1965, on September the 6th, 1965, we'll be talking about what's happening to you when you were 1 year old. Do you understand? All right, that's how you do a short, quick progress. But after they reached a certain age where these planets moved out of the houses, well, they didn't know the planets moved out of the house because they didn't do their chart. They didn't know anything. I had to go do the chart to see what it was that was happening to this person. They were feeling like they needed to let go of all 3 relationships and get into themselves and ascend within and change their life. They felt like they were becoming spiritually, or something was coming where they needed to do something different, you know? And they let go of all 3 of the relationships and went into developing self. Do you know on the time and the year that they did that was the time when all 3 planets left that house? Do you understand it? all right? So let's get that straight. And I don't know, my energy is telling me that since I did choose about mates and women, and I mean him and girl, we sisters all know that men don't have several wives, that you have several husbands, right? Okay. You don't know about that, you better come and ask me about it. That's patriarchal to think that a man has several wives while you're one of the wives of his several. You have several husbands. A husband is a house binder. Husband, house binder. Whose house is he binding? Yours.
Yeah.
So, example, to give you so you can feel it, because I know that you do. You have a friend or yourself all your life. You got a guy that just fixes your car. You got a guy that you might go out with. You got a guy that helps you out financially. You got a guy that you do certain things with, a brother. Those are all husbands. That it has nothing necessarily to do with sex. When they flip the matriarch, you're more, you gotta deal with the matriarch, not the patriarch. That's the infiltration of the Moorish nation, or the Moabite nation, is by infiltrating the patriarchal mindset.
Yep.
And I don't care if he, brother right now say, I'm a Moor. If he don't understand the matriarchal principle, no, you're not there yet. You need to do some more development. And if your mother was in the church while you were in her womb, you gotta have the exorcism to get that out, so that you can have the baptism to receive this information. Because right now, what was just said, some women thinking, no, that's not what I got in my head about that. All right, fine. Because you got something else in your head about that.
Yep.
You gotta exercise it out, because that's not the truth, what is truth. But the source of all reality, yes, but you know, we gotta be connected to nature. And nature don't see that. That's why it would say, I don't care, even in the old days, if you saw a sister that was elder or otherwise, you're gonna assist her. That's what the covenant of the holy, of the Abrahamic nation says. If a sister's in trouble, forsake her not. If a brother's in trouble, assist him out. You see what I'm saying? So we have to exercise all that's not in tune with nature, because this is going down right now. Like Prophet Matriarchy said, if you don't follow this, the great God of the universe will not be happy, and you'll have floods and earthquakes, and that's exactly what we got going down.
Yeah.
Yep.
So,
Chaos.
I didn't mean to overextend that, but I just
That's good. That's good.
Well, you know, it's always women that say, yeah, go ahead, but let's just be honest. Let's be honest, you know, they say that, but then they still sit, and I'm, present company, I hope is excluded, and nothing personal, but then they still sit in reverence of, you know, it's the mental slavery that has you sitting there. You birth a child, it just told you laid the law down, right? You raised them. Only one mother's breast would give everybody a suck. His birthmark of all of us is come from your navel.
That's right.
Meaning he's a navigating L coming from your navel. That's
right.
the birthmark. All right?
Right.
And then you know, no. Listen, the great meeting is on, sisters.
All right.
When you wake up. And that's what's on the cover of the 101 right here. Prophet Matriarchy was right in the exact. She's unconscious. You see, you're unconscious. So now if your mother fell in the street, wouldn't you pick her up? So your son is holding you up. And if he's a chapter 2 son, he will be able to reveal the light to you. He will be able to teach others. But he can only do it, as chapter 2 says, if he has been given the light. And who gives him the light but you? So if you don't have the light, then your child don't have the light. Or he'll get it or she'll get it, but she got to go through some crap to get there.
All right.
And that's what we've been going through already, crap to get there. It's just like earlier in the meeting when I first came in, you were talking about income tax. What kind of crap is this that we can't realize that if you don't look up the word what income means, you're going to work every day and you're getting wages, and then they put in front of you this piece of paper and you agree that you got income. But you did it. There's the trickery of deceit.
Yes.
Because income is profit from a capital investment,
Corporation.
a corporation. So what they're saying is we see you as a corporation. And if you agree to this, that means that I want you to list everything you spent this year on diapers, on babysitting, on the whatever, gas. And when you're done with that, what's left? That's called income, profit from the income, because you're the income. Now we'll tax that. That's all they're saying, and we're agreeing. It's just quite that simple.
Right.
It really is. And that's why Yahshua said, my people suffer from what?
Lack of
knowledge. And so here you got a dude here showing you etymologically, because first there was the Word was with God, and the Word is God. So who's God? The Word. That's why man does not live from bread alone, but from everything that proceeded from his mouth, because that's the spell. So therefore, when he's talking jurisdiction, which means juris is right and diction is word, and we keep coming up having the wrong word, wondering why we're getting, messed up. Because we're not in the right word. But now if you say the right word, then only shall that spell expose itself, because it's like abracadabra. You said the right things. See? I mean, what I'm saying is just,
It is.
and it took me a while to get here, so please don't get it wrong, but it is just that simple. It is quite that simple. The only reason we have a problem is because we have under mental slavery, and we believe, for instance, we had a little correction earlier. She said, yeah, they got to give us our land back. I said, see, if you think like that, you just lost.
We gotta take
She
it.
said, what do you mean? Because, no, we don't have to take it. It ain't go nowhere. What we have to see, this is what I'm saying. So
We have to make
everybody
them know.
erase it from your mind that you want to take it back. Did it move?
No.
No, it's.
All right, so now, my last lesson I'm going to give you. You have to then claim it.
Oh, we gotta
Oh,
claim it.
how do I do that if I think I came on a boat from Africa? Not going to happen, because you don't even think this is your stuff.
Educate
You don't
yourself.
even know that you're Aboriginal indigenous to this land.
Yep.
We're not aware, we haven't been aware because of the mental slavery that the prophet literally said we surely shall suffer from it. So did Yahshua, when he said you just suffer from not knowing. So now we talk about they're going to give it back. What do you mean give it back?
Okay.
There's only 3 types of domiciles, right?
Right.
And 2 primal things to nationality systems, really. First of all, it comes from mother, birth. That's number 1. 2 primal things. The first thing is, whatever you say your nationality is, because it comes from your mother, so don't tell me you don't have one. But they don't want to say that, because then they can dismiss mother. Whatever you say your nationality is, it determines your political allegiance.
Yep.
What are you politically allegiant to? That's what religion is anyway. Re-allegiance. What do you have an allegiance to? So your nationality determines your political allegiance. And the second thing is where you say out of your own mouth that you live or domicile. Let me explain that, because it's important. There's 3 types of domiciles. This is simple stuff now. There's a national domicile, right?
Yep.
There's a quasi-national domicile, right?
Yep.
And then there's a municipal domicile, right?
Yep.
Now everybody knows about the municipality. You got one right around the corner from your house, because they sit there waiting to stalk you. The national domicile, did you say you were a national? So that means you must be a part of a national domicile, correct?
Yep.
And that's this American land, right?
Yep.
Because that's the national domicile. You're the true Aboriginal and Indigenous, Native, Moor, and American is the same thing. Here, you are of a national domicile. But now the quasi-national domicile, who's that? States. I don't care what they tell you, they ain't nothing but quasi-national. Means that they are symbols of that which is real, but it's not. And I said that to say that they can't make no claim to your land.
That's right.
They're underneath you. They don't have quasi-national domiciles are not national domiciles, so how are they going to take a claim to national and international intercourse? They can't. Do you think they know that? Yeah, they know that. Do they think you know that? Heck no, because they made a lot of finances, sent all their children to school, and got 5 or 6 houses and cars based on your ignorance. But ignorance of the law is no excuse, is it?
No.
So now the last domicile is municipal. Guess whose domicile that belongs to? Romans. So what did you say? You said you live in a municipality? Now let me explain something. I always said that. Say 2 times. What you say your nationality is does determine, without a doubt or contradiction, what your political allegiance is to. And I'm sure that is through this Moorish nation right here, if you are a national, because ain't nothing going on here but the eagle or the pyramid.
Right.
You can make up something tomorrow. I had this conversation out tomorrow. You can make up something tomorrow, don't mean jack. Because the only thing going on here is the eagle or the pyramid. Which one are you under?
All right.
Because the pyramid is the great seal, it's a symbol of civilization coming off of the astrology wheel. It represents, anciently, it's the sign of civilization on the entire freaking planet, and that's the seal that we had. That's the one on the same, what you talk about, the fake dollar bill.
Oh, yeah.
Because we are, it's the seal, it's the great seal, which is the pyramid, or it's the eagle, which we authorized. You get it?
Yep.
They're not over you. They don't have a claim over you, the national. What you say your nationality is determines your political allegiance. Where you say you domicile, guess what it determines? That's why I had to stop and give you the 3 domiciles.
All right.
It determines your civil status. Hear me now. If you say you live in New York, New Jersey, Philadelphia, Maryland, you domicile there, you yourself, by confession, just clicked on your civil status. Why? Because they have no civil liberties to offer you. They're quasi-national themselves.
Yep.
You're the national, Mom. And your children are too. That's why in the rights of indigenous people, which you say you are, how many people say they're indigenous and then they start talking about some other nationality? Ain't that going on here? You know, like we discussed this. People say I'm Monachi. Others say I'm Yamasee. Others say I'm a Latvian. Well, tell me something. What does Monachi mean? Do you know what Yamasee means? No. They mean the same thing. They mean the ancient people. The first people. It's a description of who you are. And so hold on now, and even Nubian, with all respect, because I studied it myself, if it wasn't for that work, I wouldn't be where I am today. It ain't no nationality. And I'll tell you another thing, Mother. It's a slight to you. As soon as the son tells you he's going to go start a nation, you need to sit his behind down, because how can he start a nation? The nation is in your womb. That's a disrespect to you.
Yep.
When a son says they're going to go start a nation. That's a disrespect to you. You came here with the nation. Put him on an island with his starting of a nation. Come back in a year, ain't jack going down. Put you on an island. With don't have to happen in order for you to activate one of those eggs you got in your womb.
I'm telling you.
You're the nation, so don't you ever let a son tell you they're starting a nation. It's a disrespect.
Right. How many
And
eggs you got?
because the sons have been going around saying they're starting a nation, and you mothers, or you who may be present and otherwise, have been following that crap. Not that you're disrespecting your son, because you're not saying that. And the reason I'm saying you're not saying that, ain't no such thing as Father's Day and Mother's Day. The only thing on this planet is mother and son, period. Mother and son, because the son is the potential to do the duties of the husband. And if you got a daughter, she's a mother too. It's mother and son, which is why they took the Masonic orders and put these things that we're discussing in it as sacred or secret. The sacred and secret is the same thing. And we need to take what has been secret and take it back to its sacredness.
All right.
And stop joining into little clubs.
That's right.
Because even Prophet Noble Drew always said, I have come to take the cover off of all secret societies, so we'll go nowhere and they tell you that they're a Moorish Science Temple and they acting like the club because they're out of order. Don't go nowhere. Nowhere where they say, we're going to do a Masonic club thing and you got a guy running that crap. If they want to go have a hunting club, let them have a hunting club, but they cannot start a damn nation. It's a disrespect to every system. But they don't even think they're going to do it. So when you wake up, the great meeting is on, and it doesn't mean you're against your son because you love them.
Yes, ma'am.
You love them because he came from you. But he ain't exactly the same as you. You're 100% of that human DNA, the X, and he got a couple things missing. But that's okay. He's your son. Don't let somebody else revere your son and that relationship, and you don't even know it. And then they got us debating and fighting with each other. How you gonna fight with that which came from you? That you nurtured. That you nurtured at least until 7 years, the age of reason, when they can start reasoning on their own. And every mother in here knows they got a child, when they get 7, they start acting like they got more sense than you do. Because at 7, they can reason. And then all of a sudden, they're going to go out and start a nation and really disrespect you like that? It's not their fault, mothers. It's yours. Wake up. You want to complain about the sons, what they're doing, and how they're treating women. You raised the son to go out and marry or to mate with one of your other sister's daughters. That's your responsibility condition. It's not theirs. Because all they want to do is uplift. That's all they want to do, whether they can express it to you or not. All they want to do is assist. Right? Ask them, they'll be honest. But they don't have necessarily, which is why this nation, this Moorish nation has not moved on from 100 damn years, is because sisters are on their ass instead of doing their work. And that's just the truth. Because a son can't organize a nation. Because organize in itself means organize a nation. Organization. Organize a nation. How are you going to organize what's in your womb? You're the first teacher of that.
All right.
You are the first teacher.
Yeah, go ahead, sis.
Thank you, Lord.
That's what I wanted you to do.
That's what I wanted.
Yes.
I was thinking that it's acceptable to use North America.
Oh, absolutely. You're not, here's the deal. This should put this in order for you. Every time these quasi-national municipal domiciles, right, they stalk you. Don't you say that they stalked you. They stalk you. They're called highwaymen. Look up the word and use it. Yep. They will send you a charging document that says, a fiending charging document that says, in the jurisdiction of the city of Pennsylvania or whatever, the city of whatever, you were speeding on 5th Street, right? Isn't that what they just wrote? Isn't that true? Are you aware of what they just did? What type of jurisdiction did they just now claim? Well, first of all, there's 3 types. Personal,
subject matter,
and territorial. In the jurisdiction of the city of Philadelphia, you were speeding on 5th Street. That's the first thing in the top line. What type of jurisdiction did they just claim? Territory. What did you do? Did you write back and say, in the jurisdiction of my ancestral estate / national domicile, North America? What did you do if you do that? You just trumped their territorial claim.
Yeah.
What did I just share with you? It's called right words. If you don't say that, you ain't said jack.
All right.
All right.
I'm taking your home with me.
So when I learned there's a prayer God for Jesus Christ, I read it. And now God, I better understand. Yes. It said under the eternal law of right, we call it jurisprudence, which is the highest law, you may annul the statute laws. That's what it's saying there.
Listen, Prophet knew a lot of people try to pick apart what other people do. And Prophet knew majority for principles of civilization. Do you hear?
Yes.
Well, let's guess on something. Not let's guess on something. Do principles ever change?
No.
No.
So don't let nobody tell you, oh, that was then, this is now. We didn't have Social Security now. You didn't need it then, you don't need it now. Social Security is to be taken care of you when you get older. My elders.
Yes.
Natural.
So naturally. But they got you pulled over here with some stuff. And so what is Social Security? It's a private insurance policy. It's not even government, because they're not government. They damn sure ain't your government. So he divinely prepared the Circle 7 with a synopsis of information in it that divinely today applies to the questions you and I have and need to know off the top right now.
That's right.
So we only got a little bit of it in there, but it's enough that was tailored to fit the needs of the questions you have today.
That's right.
And they come from ancient writings, because see, here's another thing. People think, one, they think God wrote the Bible. They think somebody else wrote some other text. Somebody else wrote the book of Barnabas. Somebody wrote this. What books do you listen to? Why don't you read them all? Why? Because they're your ancient ancestors' texts. They wrote it. But no, we're going to start a group over here, see, and we're only going to deal with this. Let me give you another good example, and then I don't cool myself. I don't want to step over my bounds. But you got people, and I remember Taj, we discussed this. You got people who say they're Hebrew Israelites. We got some badass brothers, strong brothers, ready to stand up toe to toe, ready to go. And they are warriors without a cause, because they don't know what the daggone fight is or what the cause is. The cause is your mother and your nation, not some separate group you got over here called whatever the heck you want to call it, which is usually named by a son trying to start a nation. Because he's got what he needs, but he doesn't have the information to go with it, because mother failed to give it to him. All right. So he's a Hebrew Israelite, not knowing what Hebrew means, not knowing what Israelite means, not knowing that in the Bible, see, let's take it, says right there, Genesis 2, it says, yo, Yakub. Y'all know who Yakub is. He created the scientist that was successful at Greek and Albion, right? Yakub, listen. From now on, we're going to name you Israel. How many people know that? They don't. So now with the confusion of not knowing that the assignment of Israel was given because of the success of the experiment, and those children of Israel are really the Albion, we got our son talking about, I'm a child of Israel. You understand? Without knowing. See, they can't even qualify what they're saying. You understand what I'm saying? But they got that heart, they got the courage, they got to stand toe to toe, and they're ready to beat up their own brothers behind defending that, and they can't tell you what it is. How many people say they're devout Christians, and then when you ask them what's the origins of Christianity, they don't even know it. They don't know that being Christ-like, crystal clear and pure is a good thing, but the Christian Crusaders and the Christian religion, if you read the Etymology, that's where they said it is good, because our God said we can kill people who won't convert to what we believe in. This is documented. It is written. And they say they found dark-skinned people that they described as dark-skinned people when they got here. So the people they talk about killing are us. But we're going to be a Christian.
Yeah.
Without knowing what it means.
Yeah.
So with that,
Yep, you're right.
thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Class, great job. Great job. Great job. Love it.
Thank you, Roz.
You're welcome. Thank you for the boarding time.
Oh, we gotta wrap it up? All right, we want to wrap it up. So, Ross did an excellent job. Excellent job. All right. So, what's the next class?
The first Saturday of the month.
Listen up, y'all. Listen up. I want to at least get that. Talib, want to give the next class? Hold on, y'all. Please.
It's gonna be the next Saturday.
Is it 2 weeks from now?
The fourth is
a Saturday.
the first. So it's gonna be the second Saturday.
The second Saturday, which is 11.
July 11th is the next class. Right? July 11th is the next class, right? 12 to 4, right?
Yes.
July 11th, 12 to 4.
Yes.
I just want to get that information out.
Yes.
Yeah. All right, thank you for coming.
All right, thank you.
All right, thank you.
Thank you for your time.